you don't know what other people are thinking. So why try to work so hard to figure out what's in somebody else's mind when you have your own mind and you can create? And we encourage our employees to do the same. We encourage everybody to kind of embody that.
Hey, this is Shay.
And this is Carrie.
Welcome to the Pocket Change Podcast,
where you'll learn better ways to spend, save, and invest and take control of your financial journey.
All right, Carrie, I got a little bit of this or that for
Okay.
you. All right. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Right. Nike or Adidas?
That is a hard one because I literally wear both of them. I'll just go with Nike.
All right.
Just do it, right?
That's exactly. Zaxby's or Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A.
And credit unions or banks?
Credit unions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So those are some popular brands that we're familiar with. And it takes marketing, it takes advertising for people to build that awareness. And so we're going to talk to someone who's experienced in that today.
That's right. Today we will talk to Stephanie with B3 Creative and learn a little bit about why she named her business B3.
Yeah, and she's got a really good workplace culture and a lot of good insights she's going to share.
She sure does. We're excited to welcome our guest, founder and owner of B3 Creative Agency, Stephanie Riley. Welcome to Pocket Change, Stephanie.
So happy to be here, Carrie.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you became a business owner.
Well, so I have B3 Creative Agency in downtown Jackson, and I've been an entrepreneur for a while through many things. It actually started in 5th grade. Maybe we'll get to that later. But so I had an agency prior to this one, and it was more print and design focused, and then later sold it to another firm in town, was a partner there for a while, and then realized how much I missed creating culture, how much I missed the fact that I could create jobs. And so even though it was really cool to make stuff, talk to people, I missed those things. So I started B3 Creative Agency. So at B3, we focus on tourism, agriculture, and industrial clients. We have a few outside of those specific areas, but those are the main things we focus on.
Okay.
So you're focusing on websites, design, video, all that?
Yeah, all those things, all those traditional marketing services, and then some of the things that you might not expect. So
Okay. And so what does B3 stand for?
Oh, that's a fun question. So it stands for Big Bad Brands. And you may think, well, why did you name it that? And so at the time, we didn't have these focuses identified, and we were working with a lot of small businesses. And I started thinking, what would, what does it take to be a business owner? What does it take to go out and do it? And I thought, that takes a lot of guts. It takes scrappiness. It takes just a lot.
Risk.
And so I thought, that's pretty big and bad. So Big Bad Brands, that's where it came from.
Okay, so have you always been creative and entrepreneurial? Entrepreneurial, that's a big word.
I think so. So my parents used to tell me when I was a kid that I would wake them up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday because I needed my crayons or markers or whatever it was because I wanted to be creative, whether that was drawing or music, which I play later in life. I was always doing something creative, and that took different forms throughout my life. And I've always been an entrepreneur as well. I think it started in 5th grade. So it just kind of made sense to me. I thought, well, I would like to make some extra money. And so I had this catalog called Oriental Trading Catalog. I think it still exists today.
It does.
And, back in the 90s, trolls were really in, these little creatures with crazy hair. So I flipped through the catalog, and there were troll rings, and I could get 12 of them for, I don't know, $12 or something. And so I sold them for $1.50 each out of a little going to grandma suitcase. And that was the beginning of my career as an entrepreneur. And so over the years, I learned a little bit more about it. And it's just kind of stuck ever since. And, it comes naturally to me because I have grandparents. Both sets of my grandparents were entrepreneurs. My parents were entrepreneurs. My dad was a podiatrist, and he had at one time 3 different clinics. And so it was pretty cool just to grow up with parents that did it and have grandparents. And so it, ran in my blood.
Yeah, it sounds like it. What was your troll selling business name? Did you have a cool name for that?
I wish I was that cool. I just was like trying to make that hard cash, 50 cents here and there. So
were you like the guy wearing the jacket and open it up?
I should have been. So no business name then. Just, it was just something fun that sounded interesting. And that's what I did.
Very smart. Already starting off very young. So where does your inspiration come from for your unique style and brand?
I love that question. So, and the answer has evolved through the years. So I used to think like, what should I do? And what are other people doing? And then as I got older, I realized I kind of want to do what I want to do. And there's this man named Rick Rubin. He's a big time producer of music. Some of you may have heard of him. And he doesn't know how to play an instrument, and he doesn't know a lot technically about music, but he basically says, I make what I like, and I make what sounds great to me. And if other people like it, great. And so that really resonated with me, because I thought, you don't know what other people are thinking. So why try to work so hard to figure out what's in somebody else's mind when you have your own mind and you can create? And so that's reflected in our company. When you walk in the door, you're going to see our air ducts painted hot pink. You're going to see yellow doors. You're going to see stuff like I have here just spread everywhere. And so I basically just do what I want to do and hope people like it. And typically it kind of has worked out. So,
Well, I've personally taken a tour, and it is such a unique place. I love it. It's
well,
a lot
thank
of
you.
fun.
Yeah, thanks so much. And we encourage our employees to do the same. You know, reflect your personal style through how you dress or what you put on your desk. We encourage everybody to kind of embody that at the office as well. And that also translates to client work, you know. So, yeah.
So that goes into the company culture a lot. So why is that so important to you?
Well, we've all called a place and they've picked up the phone and you could tell they hated their life. And we've all called a place and they pick up the phone and you think, well, what a nice person. And so from the top to the bottom and anywhere in between, every position, it matters if your company culture is not positive. And so to me, it's the most important thing you have in your company. It doesn't matter if somebody's smart, if they're not a good culture fit. It doesn't matter, you know, what your resources are. You've got to have a culture that's really strong and really positive if you want to do good work, if you want to serve your clients well. So it's paramount for me.
You might could say it's big and bad.
It's big and bad.
Your culture is very unique at B3. What do you look for when you're hiring someone?
Well, that answer has changed through the years, but the most important things are being a kind person. Somebody once told me you cannot teach kindness. Either a person's kind or they're not. So be a good human. Are they intelligent in the area they need to be? So if you ask me to do accounting, I'm not intelligent at all, but there's things I'm good at. So if someone's needs to be creatively intelligent, that's important. Because that's also very difficult to teach, like taste and things like that. And then last, like, are they, you know, do they have the work ethic that you need? Are they going to come in and really give their all? So those are the three basic things we do. But we also have a really unique hiring process. So it starts with a phone interview, which is not that out of the ordinary. And then we have an in-person 1-hour interview. And a lot of times companies kind of stop there. Maybe it's a little longer than an hour, but you're sitting across the table from someone trying to figure out if they're going to be a good fit. And it's a huge decision to make. So about probably 4 or 5 years ago, I implemented a third step. And so what we ask people to do, and these are our top candidates, they come in and they spend a day with us. And they actually do real work. So the day starts with them spending time with each employee. And I tell them, ask them anything. Ask questions about me. Ask questions that you just really want to know. Everybody here knows they can be honest. And then we'll have lunch with them. And then we give them some projects because we want them to know what the work's actually like. Is it difficult? Is it something that they're going to enjoy? Does it come easy to them? And then it allows us to evaluate some of their work. And they get a flavor for what the culture's really like as best as you can. Because when you choose to work somewhere, it's a huge deal. You're spending most of your waking hours at that place. So we felt like it was good for us to really make a good decision on our end, but it's also really good for the candidate so they can feel just a little more at ease about joining
And
a
they
company.
know what they're getting into.
That's right. Absolutely. So that's how we hire people, and that's been really successful. I'm not perfect at it. There's definitely going to be things I miss, but it's really helped us recruit a very good team over the last few years.
So what advice would you give someone who is looking to reestablish their culture or brand?
So it's very simple. When it comes to having a positive company culture, the reason it's simple is you just have to care about people. And not for some kind of reward or, well, if I act like I care about them, something will happen, but just to genuinely care about people. I mean, we care about everybody else in our life, we hope. And so when you care about people and they genuinely know it, it all just kind of works out. And we show that in a lot of different ways, whether that is, and, you know, for somebody to give them advice, it might be hearing that, you know, someone's wife had surgery. And even if you have to make a note to ask, like following up, how did that go? It's those little things that add up. You know, these big grand gestures, say a Christmas bonus. I mean, those are great. But it's those little moments that you take to invest in someone's life, to truly care about them, that add up and help contribute towards a positive culture. But we do other things. We have Friday afternoons off. One of the things about my team, I have a younger team. And, you know, this younger generations, they've really figured it out. Shay, that might be your generation. They have figured out like work-life balance is so important. And I'm a little more of a work all the time kind of person, but I know that work-life balance is really important to most people. And so it was important for me to create a culture where that's really valued. So
Mm.
having Friday afternoons off has been great. I thought, well, I'll just stay at work and get more done. Oh no, I've loved it. I pick my son up from school. I go do things. And for the team, they're getting to do things that you don't usually get to do when we're all at work. And so that's been one of the things I've added as a benefit to the company. So there's many things that you can do to create that positive culture, but
Mhm.
your intentions are the first. That's number one.
Right.
So having that intention of truly caring that really just is the baseline for it all.
I think people know if you're being authentic with
They do.
that as well. Do you find that your team works harder Monday through Thursday to be able to, have that half a day on Friday?
Yeah, I think so. When we talked about it, I said, hey, you all, we're going to be going back to 38 hours because we have a 30-minute lunch. So it's 8 to 5 with 30 minutes. And so we're going to scale back our hours to 38 instead of 40. I'm going to pay you for 40. And so to do that, we're going to have to really, make sure we still get all of our work done. And so people didn't mind hearing that at all, and it all gets done. And I told them, if anything ever changes, we'll reevaluate. But it's been really positive,
That's
and
great.
because it's a good culture, people want to show up and they want to give their best. So it's been really good.
That's
Well, the
great.
fact that you included your team on that discussion and things like that,
Yeah.
is part of that intentionality that it
That's
takes.
right.
And I think you mentioned something similar to, credit unions where, people over profit, and that's really the mindset you have is like, yeah, we have this bottom line and we have to make money as a business, but I want to put my people first. And that's, really important. So
It is.
you mentioned a couple things y'all are involved in, tourism and music. So how did you get involved in those two industries?
Oh, that's an interesting story. So, for a while, I thought, what am I going to really focus on? We worked with a lot of different great businesses, but with this type of work, if you can really focus on a few things, you can become really good at them versus, being okay at several things. And so I hadn't really found that one thing that I thought, I'm so passionate about this. I'm so excited. And COVID happened, as we all know, and don't want to remember. And what happened is there was a lot of money distributed to different organizations, as you know, and one of those was the local tourism office. And we received an RFP, request for proposal, for different things that we could do for Visit Jackson in town. And one of them was around music. How can we elevate our music community? So we sent a proposal in and we were able to win that. And the really cool thing is the director at the time said, hey, what do you want to do? Just bring your ideas. It wasn't one of those things that was highly directed. And so I went back to the team and I started thinking about this whole music scene, the term music scene. And when we all think about that, there's really, like, if I said, hey, where do you go find information about the Nashville music scene or Memphis? Like, where would you go, right? It's just kind of this word that's really not attached, or phrase that's really not attached to anything. And so I thought, what if we actually created a brand for Jackson's music scene? What if there was this centralized, non-biased place for people to go find the itinerary, go find an artist, whatever it is? And so we pitched that to them and they said, all right, let's do it. And so I'd never seen this done before. It was a little bit of a risk, but the reward's been really good. So it's called Jackson Hidden Tracks. It's available, social media, website, everything. And, it's been great. It took a little while to earn the artist's trust, hey, what's this all about? But it's been really good and it's evolved over the years. And so now people know they can go to this website, they can find great content, whether it's how to host a festival or it's how to find an artist that will play on the weekends or who has original music or, social media. We have a weekly itinerary that we collaborate with.
Seeing the music that's playing on the weekends at the venue.
That's right.
Great.
And so that's been really incredible. And it's been neat to see the artists say, hey, this has been really good for me, or something finally for our music community. So getting that feedback's been very rewarding for me. And then we've also seen people travel in. We had someone that wrote, I think it was a comment on Facebook or something that said, oh, wow, I didn't know this was here. I've been looking for somewhere to travel to listen to live music. That's great. You have it 7 days a week in your area. So the reward's been really good. So when I had that project take off, I realized this is what I love. And finding ways to support our, creative community has been one of the most, it's been a favorite thing that I've done since I've had the company. So
that's great.
Yeah.
So how has working with local brands changed how you see US Tennessee?
Yeah. So that's a great question. And I will say again, Visit Jackson's probably was the client that allowed us to get the most exposure because that organization represents Madison County. And just getting to see all these different businesses in this area because we're interviewing them or we're taking photos, that's really given me tons of exposure. And it's given our team tons of exposure of what we've got in our area. So many people join our company and they've maybe gone to Union or they've gone to another college where they kind of had a small circle that they went around. And so when they come to work here and they're working with these clients, whether it's Visit Jackson or it's Dixie or whomever, they just learn a lot more about the community. So for me, I've learned so much about the community just through this work, and it's helped me love it even more. But it's also been cool to see the team just learn and say, I didn't even know this was here or that we could do this. So it's been really, really good.
That's great.
Yeah.
So what's coming up with Jackson Hidden Tracks? We got some exciting news coming up.
Yeah, so we just had the Tennessee Songwriters qualifying round in Jackson. So for those that don't know, it's through the State Tourism Office. It's a statewide event where they have qualifying rounds. There's 3 different ones, and one of the first rounds starts in different cities like Jackson. So this year was a little bit different. It had always been at the Carnegie, which was great, but it's a smaller, more intimate venue. And the new director of Visit Jackson said, let's get more community members out. Let's have a party. Let's have people come and see these great, talented songwriters. And so this year it was moved to Hub City Brewing, and we had a ton of people come out that might not have known about it or been able to come before due to limitations on space. And then we also had a concert with Lolo where she played all of her original music, whether it was songs for herself or songs she wrote for Panic at the Disco or Fall Out Boy. So it was a great event, and I love seeing how it's evolved, and it's neat to see the community come out, more community members to see, hey, we've got all this talent right here in Jackson.
Yeah.
And then another thing that's coming up that I'm very excited about is the Blue Suede Rockabilly Weekend. So this is something that we're working with Visit Jackson again on, and basically we all said, Carl Perkins is from here, king of rockabilly, and why are we not doing a rockabilly event? And so it's going to be a full weekend. We're going to have a VIP event on Friday night. We're going to have a full day of great activities on Saturday, and that's going to include 4 different shows at Hub City Brewing. It's going to include a car show and many different things that the community can come out and enjoy. And then the next day, we're going to have a documentary air about Carl Perkins. So it's going to be a great weekend. One of the headline artists for the VIP event is actually Kyle Lacey. So Kyle Lacey is from New York City, and he's coming down to play some music. So we've got, a lot of great talent, and it's really very cool to honor Carl Perkins. People don't understand how influential he's been through the world and still is very influential in the world today. So it's a neat way to honor him, his legacy, and also just create a great event for people to come to Jackson and enjoy. So
that's awesome.
That's coming up.
Wear your blue suede shoes.
That's right.
And when is that event again?
It's the last weekend in April, and you can visit bluesuedeweekend.com to get the full itinerary and learn more about it.
Awesome. Okay, so you mentioned you all started working with agriculture recently.
Yes.
So what has that meant for you and your brand?
So it's funny, when I was in college at UT Martin, it's an ag school. And so I was surrounded by agriculture, but I actually majored in fine arts. And so when I was maybe a junior or senior, my first freelance project was called Ideas in Agriculture. And it was basically promoting the different ways someone could take a crop and add value. So maybe if you are a corn farmer, you sell the husk to a craft company. So I did that, and then time moved on. And then about 3 or 4 years ago, a good friend of mine connected me to an ag project. And when he did, I thought, well, I have a little bit of experience, but not a ton. And what I found very quickly is it is some of my most favorite work I've done. There's a few things I love so much, but right now, some of what that work includes is we work with mostly national or statewide organizations. We work with a program called Farmers for Soil Health. It's a conservation program that pays farmers for sustainable agriculture practices. So what does that mean? In this specific case, it means the program pays farmers for growing cover crops. And for those of you that don't know what a cover crop is, I'll quickly explain. So when a row crop farmer grows corn and they've harvested that corn, the earth is just left wide open. And so what you can do is you can plant a cover crop, whether that's crimson clover or radishes or something, and it covers the soil in between those commodities. And it protects the soil. It helps with erosion. It also helps with increasing organic matter. And what that does for the soil, it makes it healthier. It helps increase yields, which is how much they
Mhm.
are able to produce. And so it's this really great thing. And so our job is to market that. We're providing educational resources. We are connecting farmers with technical advisors in their state so that they can learn how to best use cover crop practice or use that practice, because it's something you have to learn. And it's one of those things that does take time to get your mix just right. So we work with that organization. We work with Tennessee Soybean and some others. And what I love about it is, and that was not really a surprise, but what I have loved so much that I didn't expect, is just being able to connect with farmers.
Mm.
So what people may or may not realize is farmers are some of the most resilient, kindest, best people you'll ever meet. I mean, talk about resilience. Like, you can't predict the weather. We've all heard that saying, you never know about the weather.
Mhm.
In farming, it matters.
They're watching it.
You can
Yeah.
work so hard, and then the weather can change everything. It can take you from a very profitable year to a very hard year. And just being able to see how hard and these our farming community works, how much they have to go through to feed us, to clothe us. It's been really inspirational, and they're just some of the best people. So being able to sit down, get to know some of our farmers has been really rewarding for me, rewarding for our team, and work that just means a whole lot to us.
That's
So,
great.
and one of the things that we did recently is we hired some team members that have a lot of agriculture experience. So while I went to a college that promoted agriculture, was definitely an ag school, I didn't grow up on a farm. And there's a lot of knowledge that I'm not going to have to serve my clients well just because I didn't grow up on a farm. And so we've got 2 employees that live on farms that are so passionate about agriculture, understand the importance that it brings to our world. And that's made me really proud to just be able to serve our clients better
Mhm.
and have someone that truly understands it. One of my employees, I'll never forget, she pulled up for the interview and she had a huge bumper sticker that says, "I love agriculture." And she did not put it on for the interview. I could tell it had been, there for a little while, but that's just how deep the passion goes for people that are interested in this. So that's been a really cool addition as we've moved forward with this work.
Well, it's definitely a huge industry in West Tennessee. It's all over, and they make a big impact. Of course, they're
Absolutely.
feeding us every day and clothing us. So
That's
That's
right.
right.
that's huge. So you also serve as a member on our Leaders Education Foundation board. So tell us a little bit about that and why you choose to give back in that way.
I love being on that board. And the thing I love about it is, yes, we provide traditional 4-year scholarships, but it's the broader scope of work that the foundation does. It's easy to say, okay, college scholarship, and that's it. But, we're working way outside those boundaries. And one of the things that the foundation does that I especially love, that's close to me, is the investment in our technical colleges.
Mhm.
So the foundation provides resources for tools, for books, and whatever folks need that are maybe going to TCAT. And one thing that I think is so important that people must realize is how great those careers are. There's still a little bit of a stigma of, oh, you're not going to college. Oh, and absolutely not. I mean,
Right.
folks that are going to be welders, they are making great money. They're starting with little to no debt. And it is a fantastic choice. And I'm so happy that the foundation elevates that because it's so important. And, we're offering, like I said, offering scholarships, but also just offering exposure and awareness of these great career paths. So that's one of the things I love, is just how broad the work is, whether it's another organization or something else. It's just, it's been really good. I've been very proud to be involved.
Well,
Oh,
we're
we
very
appreciate.
sorry. I was going to say the same
Go ahead.
thing. We're very grateful that you serve on that board. It's
Yeah.
been great to work with you alongside all the things that we're doing with the Education Foundation.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure.
So, this is a financial podcast. So, I do have to ask you, what's the best financial advice you've ever been given?
So my answer may be a little unexpected because it's about spending money. Um, so I was told by someone, I don't know who, make sure you give back to your community and make
Mhm.
sure when you can, invest money back. And so the last few years, I've been able to really think about that and figure out, how do I want to give back? And so our company invests a lot in the arts.
Mm.
So for me, if you are not investing in art and you are not investing in music, you may not have it. And for me personally, I obviously, as a creative person, connect to those things, but art and music, that is not an easy career path. If that is what you're called to do, it's not easy. You have to work a little harder than some career paths to be able to make a living. And so it's really important that me and our company are supporting visual artists, musicians, whether that's the mural Samantha Wood did on the side of our building, or it's helping someone with a tour, some tour expenses. All that's really important. And it's funny, I had a friend, Lauren Lolo, many of you all know, she
Mhm.
said, if people think about it, what if they weren't allowed to listen to music for a week? If you go to a
Mhm.
grocery, you got to go out because there's music, or you go in your car, you can't turn it on, or
Mm.
wherever you're at, you can't turn it on. And it would really help us understand how valuable music is and
Mhm.
how we should invest in that. And so that's why it's important for me. So I hope people will consider when they're able, how can I give back? We
Mhm.
can't take it with us.
Mhm.
So whether that's, ministry, that's creative things like me, I just hope people will think about how they can contribute back when they're able to. So that was good advice that was given
That's
to me.
valuable advice because to me, the world would be such a sad place without music and art.
Sure would.
And music is therapy. And I think that's one thing that you and I share together is our
is.
passion for music. So
No
I
doubt.
love that.
Yeah, thanks.
So if you had some extra change in your pocket, what would you spend that on?
Shay, it
Mhm.
is going to be concert tickets.
Music again.
That's
Mhm.
right. So let me show you something. Okay. All right. If I can get this in frame. These are concert tickets from back in the day when you could actually get an actual ticket,
Mhm.
which you can't do anymore.
Yeah.
And so instead of keeping mine in a box, I decided to frame them.
Wow.
love
And
it.
I've decided I'm going to do more of that this year. I did actually get one from last year. I saw Paul McCartney. I got this little
Awesome.
printout.
Paper
but,
one, yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do with my extra money. I'm going to go
Mhm.
experience more music, take people with me, and have a good time.
That's
I'll
great.
go with you.
Let's do it, Carrie. I can't wait.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Stephanie, for joining us today. I've really enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah, same. Thanks for having me.
Mhm. Thanks for tuning in to the Pocket Change podcast.
Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe, and check out our full episodes on YouTube,
The Pocket Change podcast is brought to you by Leaders Credit Union.
where we power your passion and make lives better.
Cha-ching. Hard to
Entrepreneurial. Definitely can't spell it. Entrepreneurial.
Entrepreneurial. That right there should be it. It was so perfect.
Welcome to the podcast. Leaders is federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Learn more at leaderscu.com.